Alright, so you're here because you struggle with Backfoot fighters. First thing is fighter choice. Usually choose someone that can kick a little bit back with the person you're fighting and someone that has really, really good boxing. Like Petr Yan in the bantamweight division is perfect for that. Quick kicks, and he has flawless boxing for the most part. Alright, so you see they're going to use a lot of side kicks, teeps, right? For the teeps, you want to sidestep by flicking up or down on the left stick. You could practice this in practice mode. That takes the teeps away from them. And if you're paying attention to which side kicks they're throwing, right, look at the heel of his lead foot. You just walk away from it pretty much. Like you see how he's in southpaw? If I walk to the right, like footwork will basically make it miss. So if you could kind of get an idea of what he's throwing, or you can also sidestep just like I did right there. And what that's doing is I'm getting in counters and I'm also taking away his weapons. As far as in like the outside fighting, you know, one of my subscribers asked me to do a video like this. I don't run into patient players too often, so I ran into him and I was like, perfect for a video. And we're basically smothering him with, you know, smart pressure though. You know, I am throwing a decent amount of combos in this fight, but I'm landing them and, you know, I have a good pattern. So, you know, if I'm landing a body shot, I'll come back up top to throw something. If I land something up top, I go to the body. I'm constantly mixing it up, so I'm not really getting countered. And as long as you're landing your punches, you're not really going to be missing a ton of stamina. Like I throw 3-4 punches max, and I let the short term come back. If I miss, I back up, let it come back. See, he's using a lot of teeps, the side kicks. He's trying to keep the distance, and a lot of fighters or a lot of people in the game are going to get, you know, intimidated by him doing that over and over. But don't be scared of that. They're more scared of you than you are of them. That's why they're throwing so many teeps and side kicks. They don't want you close to them, and it's very uncomfortable for them. They'll almost do anything to keep you away from them because they're so uncomfortable in the pocket. That's why I always tell you guys, you have to learn how to outside fight really well and also pressure box really well. You need to be able to do both at any given time. Certain matchups and styles of players, you're going to need a different play style sometimes. There's times where I might not be able to kickbox somebody because they're better, you know, at doing it than I am. And I would have to pressure box them and see if they could do that. And sometimes I win because they're so one-sided. They only have like, you know, one-trick pony, if you will. But you can't be a one-trick pony in this game because you will get you will lose to people that are backfooting you. Let's say if you're, you know, more of a passive player and you don't know how to deal with this is how you deal with players that are very patient. You gotta smother them with good ghost pressure, and that's basically where I'm standing near him. I'm not throwing too much, and I'm trying to see where he's throwing. You know, he is catching me with them right now, but we're trying to make him miss. I'm trying to work the body, and, you know, for the most part, I'm out striking him because he's worried about keeping his distance, but I'm out landing him significantly on the strikes. So I'm winning these rounds. Even though he is being annoying, I'm still winning these rounds. And the next fights I have in the video are me being a bit more patient with aggressive players because, like I told you guys, I don't run into patient players like this. So, you know, I wanted to have like a few other fights so the video's not too short. But yeah, we're going to continually work the body and pressure him and just make him very uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable he is, the more mistakes he's making. He's throwing sloppier kicks. You guys noticed in the first round, he was sharp with them and knew when to throw them. Now his timing is all messed up because of the pressure and my success with my boxing. And you see, look, I'm making a miss. That was footsies right there. I'm going in and out, and so he thinks I'm coming in the pocket, and I wasn't, and he was throwing a kick, and he whiffed. The more he constantly does that, the more counters I'll get, or the more counters you will get, and the more he's going to be missing, which means he's going to be lowering his stamina throughout the fight, especially if it's a 5-rounder. Look, he's missing again. Tries to throw a double kick. I was anticipating it. People commonly do that. You see his heel on his rear leg? That's facing towards my right side, so you have to walk towards the left to avoid it. You know, you have to walk away from the heel, basically. Like for like the lead side kick right here, you just walk away from the jab towards the right. And it will just whiff with footwork. You don't even have to sidestep. You can also sidestep as well. If you're really good at sidestepping, sidestep a little bit more if you see those kicks coming. But be careful because, you know, some people will read that and start throwing body kicks like that. So try to avoid those side kicks with footwork and practice it in practice mode. Look at that. We got him against the fence. He couldn't go anywhere. And look at that. We end up getting the finish, and he rage quit. You know, he was so frustrated with our boxing, our pressure. That's how you get a lot of these guys out, or you just beat them by a decision. Missing a little bit of the first round because I didn't get to save the full, but he didn't really miss much. You know, I'm still going to combo up, you know, but it's only when I got a good opportunity to. So, you know, this is pretty cool because this is the exact opposite of, you know, what I was facing. So, like with these guys, like you see, I take my opportunities to hit that body up as much as I can to punish the aggression. So this is more like the other side of it. So it's pretty much like 2 vids in one. You know, you just make them miss. You work the body. And you see, look at that. We catch him coming in, and he's already frustrated. You know, with that, I like to bait people in the pocket that are overextending and use front kicks to, you know, punish them. But for the most part, dealing with the aggressive players, once you get really good with boxing and you're really good with counter striking, hitting the body, and doing everything you're supposed to do, you know, you're going to get these guys out of there very fast. Especially if you watch a lot of my tip videos. If you apply those tips, you will beat these guys up easily. This guy's not very good, but, you know, I just wanted to stick in some extra fights. You know, even though they were quick ones, you know, I didn't want to have the video too short, but look at that. We get a nice knockout. Hope you guys learned a thing or two. And, yeah, we're going to keep uploading